Salutations, everyone. And in this episode of the Hadal Dimension, I am going to talk about a predator category species of life form that are referred to as ghosts. Now, this name is by no means a coincidence. This is a species that is actually known to be uh, on Earth, actually. When they showed up through a rift on Earth isn't really known. What is known is they have established a rather large population, large enough that in just about every home, these creatures are essentially living in there with you. So, make sure to turn around right now and give your unforeseen or unseen roommates a good old wave and hello. Make sure not to wave at them too long. They don't like when you stare. The ghosts are, unlike most other predatory category creatures, aren't exactly initially a threat to a human being. In fact, they have never been documented eating anyone. However, they have been documented as to having attacked people, essentially likely due for territorial reasons, or they were essentially just uh, annoyed by the human's presence. Now, the ghosts have gotten their name because they are believed to be the cause for all the, I guess you could say, poltergeist activity or uh, supernatural or paranormal activity in a human's home. So, when you see something get thrown around or a door is moving mysteriously, it's probably one of these things doing that. And another thing to note is that they actually seem no one knows why they might do this. There's a various number of reasons they do this. Um, this kind of behavior has been documented in which the ghosts were rather uh, not too happy with their human roommate and were essentially trying to scare them or intimidate them into leaving. Other times, there is no actual aggression seen between the two co-inhabitants, and that it's likely in these cases that the ghost is merely trying to scare the individual for probably completely humorous reasons, as they likely have a some level of intelligence, or at least a level of intelligence that would allow them to find things humorous. Now, as to why humans think that ghosts are spirits and just, the souls of the not no longer living, is that it's merely the human brain trying to essentially causing itself to see things in a way that it could understand. To to try to describe it, it's essentially that your brain has no idea what's going on, has no idea that there is this alien in the same room as you and you can't see it. So it goes to one of the things that it finds the most terrifying in this kind of scenario, and that would be another human being or a burglar or something having broken into their home or just been in there for mysterious or paranormal reasons. Now, as to why you cannot see the ghosts is that it's not actually a thing that the ghosts it's not a constant field or something that the ghosts are producing. This is some form of supernatural ethereal camouflage in which the ghosts are able to turn completely invisible to pretty much everything. No one knows how they're capable of doing this. Shocker, I know, but it's a Hadal dimension creature. Um, and they seem to actively do this whilst during the waking moments of their human uh, roommate or roommates. They will only decloak, I guess you could say, when the human individual is asleep or just not really conscious, as well, they understand that if the human knows they're there, they're probably going to want them out, and makes it a little harder to have a peaceful living rent free. Now, some may wonder why something like exorcism works in deterring ghosts, and it's comes down to simply that the ghosts, the creatures, find the behaviors and all that are displayed during an exorcism to be rather disturbing and kind of makes them feel very uncomfortable, as you probably would if you walked into a very strange situation and heard someone say very strange things. You too would want to leave the room or probably leave the entire property, period. So ghosts essentially find, you know, those kinds of situations to be rather uh, uncomfortable or rather just confusing and would rather be somewhere else than have someone constantly yelling things that they don't entirely understand. Not that they really understand human language, period, but they probably do get at least sense the meaning behind it in some capacity. As to what the ghosts eat, this could vary depending on, the individuals, that where they're living and whatnot. If it's in a more secluded area or like some cabin in the woods, it's likely that during the night they go out and they hunt all the wildlife as normal. If they're say an apartment within a heavily populated city, it's likely that they are snacking on your food, on your snacks while you're not looking. So if you ever wondered why something went missing, you probably know now. It's someone living in there rent free. Now, as I stated before, most of the time they are harmless. They are completely harmless. However, should you anger them, and sometimes you can do this without even meaning to or even knowing you did, you get things like you see in the movie where they will throw things around, as I stated before, make noise. Some of the noise that you hear might be an auditory hallucination on your part, or these creatures have been known to scream, and it's very terrifying to hear. Um, should you still not leave, it's likely that they will start to resort to actually physically attacking you in some capacity, hence leaving scratches and bite marks on you. Of course, it wouldn't be a human bite mark. These things have rather sharp teeth. Um, and if you still don't leave, there's likely going to be a fatality on your part. And it's very rare and hasn't been seen too often, like only a handful of times throughout having studied throughout the research done on these things. So fortunately for you, your rent-free invasive roommates aren't going to hurt you anytime soon. Um, Now, as to how many are probably living in your house with you, this can also depend. It can range from there being just one to there being an entire family. These creatures have been seen to be rather social, so they're kind of social like us humans in this sense, where some are a bit more reclusive and would prefer being alone, and so decide to take up residence alone in someone else's house, whilst others will move in with their whole family. And as to how big these families can be, it can be like 10 or so. Pretty much think of human numbers in terms of how big these families can be. And they're all in your house and you don't even know. And another thing is they are this you would think you would run into one of them if they're invisible and you can't see them and they're in your house. However, they are very good at staying out of your way, unlike your house cat. Though there is maybe the occasional time where they either intentionally or unintentionally do cause you to trip or something, or stub your toe on something, like maybe it had its tail dangling off of like a counter or something. In terms of the size these creatures have, it can vary greatly. Some can be around the size of a dog, or the largest individuals, at least if they were to stand on their hind legs, they are quadrupedal. If they were to stand on their hind legs, they would be approximately taller than the average male human. So they can get fairly big, and this is prominently seen in the big, large males, or sometimes a large female. Uh, Other than that, there isn't much else about the ghosts to note. So they're essentially just a creature I designed to make you no longer feel comfortable in your own house. So that should just about wrap it up for this episode. I hope you somewhat enjoyed and are enjoying this series a little bit. And I will see you again in the next episode. Goodbye.